Thank you so much, Haley. Now that we've all come down from the holiday high from Christmas and the busy shopping season, well, we're going to be opening up those credit card statements instead of opening up our wallets.
Yeah, and if you didn't budget ahead of time, there could definitely be some sticker shock when you open the latest bill. Here with us to talk about consumer spending, the Senior Director of Public Education and Advocacy for Experian, Rod Griffin, is joining us. Rod, Happy New Year. Thank you, sir, for being here.
Happy New Year. Thanks for having me.
So you did a shopping survey there at Experian. What can you tell us about how we spent our money this year?
Yeah, well, we know that people were actually spending. It was a good year for spending. We hope it will be a good year for repaying the debts. More than half told us that they were planning to use credit cards for their holiday spending, which means some of that debt's gone up. And now, as you mentioned, those bills are coming due. It's going to be time to pay them down, we hope, over the next few months.
Now, 63% said that they may have went a little overboard and spent too much during the holiday season. How would someone start to tackle that? It seems like kind of an uphill battle.
It can feel that way, but there are several steps you can take. At first, get your credit report. You need to know where all of your debts are. That's the best starting point. It's free at annualcreditreport.com, 156 times a year, so you can get your free report from each of the three bureaus. You might also consider enrolling in a free monitoring service like Experian that will provide a free credit report and a free credit score and an explanation of what's hurting those scores or lowering those scores, so that it gives you information that you can work on. Another step to take then, once you know where all of your debts are, is potentially take advantage of balance transfer opportunities, for example, or lower interest rates. Experian has an online credit marketplace at Experian.com that can help connect you with a credit card that perhaps would let you transfer balances from a card with a high interest rate to a lower interest rate. Could help you make those payments a little easier and start making those payments over the course of the next few months and lower that debt.
Rod, I don't know about your history there at Experian, but what can you tell us about our shopping habits and trends from this year compared to past years? Is this pretty typical that people overspend at Christmas and kind of January, February, we start to realize maybe just how much that's going to impact us?
Yeah, and I've been with Experian 27 years, so didn't have all this gray hair when I started. Didn't look quite so much like Santa when I started, but it's a fairly common trend and pattern. We see people increase because they're spending. They want to make their families happy. They want to experience that holiday joy. And then the bill comes in January and it's less joyous, but we can begin to repay those debts. So similar pattern year over year. The key is to take control of your debts right away. When it comes to credit scores, credit card balances are the second most important factor. So if you can reduce your credit card balances, that's going to help improve your credit scores. Lower credit scores mean lower costs for lots of things, not just credit as well. So if you're moving to a new apartment, if you're buying a new car, they're going to look at those interest rates or your credit scores to determine the rates that you pay potentially. And so it's way beyond just credit today. So take care of your credit scores and reduce those credit card debts. That's going to help you faster than anything.
Now, Rod, up until this point, we've been discussing our own choices. How much money we spent during the holiday season now that the bill has come due. But let's move to stuff that we really don't have as much control over, and that's fraud, unauthorized charges, scams. Yeah. So prevalent during the holiday season in particular with everyone shopping. So how can we protect ourselves going forward to make sure that no one's using our finances against us?
And fraud is a huge issue. The holiday season is prime shopping for fraudsters, just like it's prime shopping for the rest of us. To take care of your credit card, several things you can do. Again, a free monitoring service like Experian will alert you if there's any signs of changes in your credit report. That can help you respond quickly. That's going to be very important in terms of protecting yourself and restoring your identity, protecting your credit. So monitor your credit histories. Again, that's going to be hugely important. Other things you can do as you get mail, for example, shred everything that goes out. I saw a little news piece yesterday that said boomers love shredders was a reason we older folks like shredders. We still get paper in the mail. We shred it when it goes out. It's going to protect our identity. And then think about how you're using that credit. If you're going to use a credit card, make sure that you're protecting it, that you're not, when you're shopping online, for example, shopping somewhere that's unfamiliar. The same thing's true if you're in a store. Make sure people aren't behind you looking over your shoulder, because that can be put you at risk. There's cell phones, great tools for all of us, but it's also a great tool for fraudsters. Call it shoulder surfing. You hold that phone over your shoulder, they can videotape your card number, your PIN number, any other information you have. If you're filling out applications, same issue. So be aware of where you're using your identity and monitor that credit history. Is going to be really important.
It's a good reminder too,
Yeah.
just for all of us as we start the new year, just actually open your statements.
Yes.
Pay attention to what's on them, and make sure you recognize all of those charges that are on there.
It's being an informed consumer is the best defense across the board.
And I know Experian and all the credit bureaus, I mean, you can put a freeze on your credit if you see something that's out of the ordinary. So lastly, Rod, maybe just talk to us about how that works. And also you mentioned annualcreditreport.com, which is the free one. There's also one called Free Credit Report, which is not necessarily the one you want to go with, right? So Annual Credit Report, talk to us about the freezes and how you get your credit reports.
Sure. If you find evidence of fraud when you get that report, there are a couple of steps you can take. The first would be adding an initial security alert, and you can do that at Experian.com/fraud, and we'll share that with the other bureaus. It says, I may be a victim. Second step, if you find evidence of fraud, add an extended fraud victim statement that actually lasts 7 years. It says, I am a victim. You provide a telephone number, and we'll share that as well with the other bureaus. A freeze is sort of that extreme step. You can tell us you want to freeze your credit report, Experian.com/freeze, or use a free app, an Experience free app. You just touch a button. You have to freeze separately with each of the bureaus. It restricts access unless you lift that freeze. It's important to know, though, that there are lots of exceptions to the freeze. So things like insurance, employment, apartment leasing, law enforcement, of course, all are exempt from the freeze. So pre-approved credit offers are all exempt from freezes, and you have to do it with each bureau separately, but it can help provide an extra level of protection. In order to monitor your report, again, those monitoring services, lots of them out there. Annualcreditreport.com is a federally mandated free report. You can get a free report under our policies in the industry once a week. The law says once a year, but you can actually get a report once a week from each of the 3 national credit bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, at annualcreditreport.com. And you can also enroll in free monitoring services. There are a number of them out there. One other thing I would add is, if you find evidence of fraud or you get a data breach notice, take advantage of that. They often offer a free monitoring service. Never hurts to take advantage of a freebie, and provides additional protection.
Oh, that's great
Absolutely.
advice. Rod Griffin with Experian, thanks so much, sir, for giving us a rundown of how to protect ourselves and our finances as we head into the new year. Good to have you with us, Rod.
Great. Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Happy